What do famous graves, Revolutionary War history, and one of America's most famous universities have in common? They're all part of today's adventure. Let's go check it out.
A bit of a farmer's market going on today. Jamming. Farmer's market open 10 to 3. Princeton. Pickles. I love it. And welcome to Princeton. All right, we're here at the Princeton Cemetery of Nassau Presbyterian Church, established 1757. Let's go check it out. Entering the gates here. So today we're in Princeton, New Jersey, where a man who killed Alexander Hamilton, a U.S. president, a famous architect, and parents of the center of one of the most infamous murder cases of all time share a connection. But first, we're going to stop here at the grave of Michael Graves, not from the Misfits. He's an awesome guy. If you follow me, you probably know that I'm a fan. This is Michael Graves, though. Michael Graves, he changed modern architecture and helped bring high design ideas to everyday life. He was born in 1934, became one of America's most influential architects and designers and educators right here at Princeton University. And after studying in Rome, he moved here to Princeton in the 60s and joined the university. Taught for nearly 4 decades. And he became known for his postmodern style designs. He designed major projects, including Walt Disney Company's Burbank studio building, Swan and Dolphin Resorts in Walt Disney World, Florida, and I believe also the post office in Celebration, Florida. So one of the town's most recognizable buildings. It stands out. It's pretty unique. So Michael Graves. And of course, an awesome designed headstone, because he wouldn't have something just boring and simple, right? It's pretty unique. Michael Graves. We are back here at the back of the cemetery. And so Jose and Kitty Menendez, their deaths would become one of the most heavily covered criminal cases in America when their sons Lyle and Eric fatally shot them back in August of 1989, that is. They were caught about 6 months later after the police were alerted and taped confessions from their therapy sessions and claims of alleged abuse and trauma. And prosecutors agreed that it was greed over their inheritance that fueled their crime, but they maintained that they killed their parents because their father was emotionally and sexually abusive and their mother did not protect them. I'm sorry if they did go through that in life. It's not okay either way. But here they lie, Mary L. Kitty and Jose E. Menendez. Unique headstones in the cemetery. That's what I love about the cemetery. Some cemeteries are very regimented and you can only have certain sizes and shapes. But look at that. Look how unique that one is right there. You see all different kinds of headstones that say all kinds of different things here. It's beautiful. The sunny side of the street. Here's Mr. General David Hunter, very prominent figure in terms of Abraham Lincoln. We did a video on him, so you can check that out if you're interested. Important guy right here in terms of slavery and freeing slaves. Check out information on him if you're not familiar, or check out my video on Abe Lincoln's funeral train. Cleveland's grave. He was the 22nd and 24th President of the United States from New Jersey, right here, and buried in Princeton with his family. Ruth Grover. Rest in peace. So most remember Aaron Burr for the duel that killed Alexander Hamilton, but he was also a Revolutionary War officer and one of our vice presidents. Born February 6th, it says, 1756. Died September 14th, 1836. He was in the Army of Revolution, Vice President of the United States from 1801 to 1805. Right here. Maybe we'll go to Weehawken and see the duel location where he shot Alexander Hamilton. So, if you know anything about that whole story, Aaron Burr, I'm not going to sit here on his grave and say he wasn't a good person, but there were some questionable activities, which is why Alexander Hamilton made some comments about him and back in the day, if somebody made comments about somebody, yeah, a duel was what you would do, even though it was
right
illegal.
over here next to Aaron Burr, you have
this marker here for John Witherspoon. He was the 6th president of Princeton College, well, the College of New Jersey at the time there. And there's a statue of John Witherspoon over at Princeton by Nassau Hall area. He was the only active college president to sign the Declaration of Independence. And he had a little bit of a complex legacy. They wanted to take his statue down over at Princeton University, but it remains. It remains. Because, you know, he did have a huge impact on what we know today as Princeton University. In November 1776, he shut down and evacuated the College of New Jersey, which is now Princeton University, because the approach of British forces. The British occupied the area and damaged the college, nearly destroyed it following the war, and so he devoted his life to rebuilding the college. And he was also in the state legislature, and he lived on a farm locally where he died due to injuries. I think he went blind due to some injuries that he had. That's how he passed away. But yeah, he's buried right here in Princeton Cemetery. And it's very hard to read all the inscriptions on here. It's also, looks like in Latin perhaps. But died a long time ago, so. And this was placed here, it says July 4th, 1996. John Witherspoon. We'll see if it's kind of windy and stormy, so I don't know if we'll go over and see the statue, but I believe I have it in another video about Princeton. You could check
some
that
other
out.
presidents of Princeton University buried here too.
17th. It says, right, 16th, 15th. A lot of presidents of Princeton University right here in Princeton. There are also some of the behind Burr. This is the 3rd president of Princeton College, right? This is the 4th president. The 5th, the 6th, right? So, yeah, a legacy here for Princeton University, right across from the library. All right, gonna head on out, go grab some lunch here in Princeton, but that was the Princeton Cemetery here. So definitely come check it out one day. Always be respectful. Lots of history right here. Witherspoon Street here to Princeton University. We're gonna grab some food. Lots of options here, but I think we're gonna go to the diner because that's my favorite spot.
Princeton University. This here ahead of us is Nassau Hall. This is where the British would have captured the school here when it was the state college still. We talked about Witherspoon before and how he kind of closed things down so that the troops could take this over. It's a very old historical building dating back to Revolutionary times.
They don't make buildings like this anymore. This Pine Hall. Here's a statue of John Witherspoon here, 1723 to 1794. He's buried, like I said, over in Princeton Cemetery. And that's him right there. This was the statue they were going to take down. Seems like it's pretty popular, though. People were taking their picture in front of it just now. I had to wait. He is as high a son of liberty as any man in America, John Adams. And this side says one of the most useful qualifications of a good minister is that he have a lively sense of religion upon his own heart. John Witherspoon, born in Scotland, 1723. Full campus here. Here's a map of the university and Princeton in general. It says, you are right here. Let's go check out some other stuff. So now we're gonna go get lunch. I keep talking about lunch, but now we're gonna go get lunch. Stop by and get a free map of the area. Shows you all around Princeton. Okay, this free Latin workshop.
There's a fun place to visit there. In the garden. Maybe we'll do that one day. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, notification bells, and don't forget to keep it moving.